to Simon Sinek, who is a proponent also of leadership. He says that leadership is not about being in charge. It is taking care of those in your charge. It's different. No, when a lot of you here have started with for a long time, and it only tells me that you have business expertise already. No, gamay na natin I mean the expectation if you have been with PhilHealth for more than a decade is gamay mo na yung business, 'di ba? Meron ka ng business knowledge or business acumen. Maybe some of you here started as a supervisor. Maybe some of you have started as an individual contributor. When we were individual contributor, the only thing that we are focused on is what? Nung nagsisimula ka as individual contributor, nung hindi ka pa leader, ano ang focus lang natin during that time? Anyone?
Our own.
Our own lang, di ba? Kung ano lang yung ibinigay sa'yo na trabaho, that's what you focus on. Right? You don't think about other people. Right? But as soon as you step in the leader's shoes, as soon as you were given the responsibility of being a leader, yes, you still have some tasks that you alone can do, pero now you are taking care of a group of people. Right? So now, doon pumapasok yung different skills and traits that we need to develop as leaders. And this quote is a very good quote to remember, no, every time that whether you are just about to become a leader or you are currently now as a leader, that your responsibility is to take care of those in your charge. So let's just have a generic definition of what leadership is. Kathy, can you please help me read what leadership is?
Leadership, it is the process of inspiring, influencing people, and providing an environment for them to achieve team or organizational objectives.
All right. Thank you so much, Kathy. Most of this were also mentioned earlier in one form or another. I'd like to highlight this, no, influencing or inspiring. No, merong debate dyan when we talk about leadership. Should a leader be influencing? Should a leader be inspiring? In my take, no, in my experience also, I've been a leader also. In my experience and with the changes in the organizations nowadays, leaders to me should opt to be inspiring. Why not influence? Well, influencing is good, and we will talk more about this later on in our discussion, no? Pero in some cases kasi, influencing can also be taken as a form of manipulation. Diba? So we don't want to just be influencing. We have to be influencing and inspiring. Right? Kaya di ba tinanong ko kanina, anong klaseng influencer ba yan? Nagte-TikTok ba? Sa IG ba? Because let's face it, diba? There are some influencers that we follow because magaling silang mag-convince. Right? But we follow them because of the trend. Right? Because na-convince tayo. But in the long run, if you are able to inspire our people, if you are able to inspire teams, their willingness to follow you has a stronger reason or a stronger bond. So yes, we can be influencing, but also be inspiring. Right? This picture, as you can see here, the leader is the one who leads the team, who inspires people to do certain behavior so that the work will be done. Okay, so they inspire people. Again, I'll repeat that. They inspire people to do or to have certain behaviors, not to be able to do the work. While managers, or the responsibility of a manager, is to make sure that the people will do the work. Right? Now, to begin with, we are all leaders and managers. Okay? All leaders are managers, and all managers should be leaders. Regardless of your title, as long as you already have a leadership role, you automatically have management responsibilities. Because while leadership and management are two distinctive systems of action, each of it has its own function and characteristics. No? But please keep in mind that both are necessary for success in an increasingly complex and volatile business environment. No business will be successful if there's only strong management, if there's only strong leadership and weak management. No, because even if your leader is strong, no, kahit yes, the people follow the leader. They have this certain behavior. They have a culture that was developed in their teams. But if the leader doesn't become a manager and doesn't make sure that the work is done, the team will crumble and the business will fail. Now, same goes on the other hand, if the manager naman keeps on pushing people, but without creating the right mindset, without inspiring them to have the right mindset, to have the right behavior, to have the good relationship within their teams, then the team members will be burnt out because the manager keeps on just telling them what to do, but they don't know why they're doing it. The team will crumble, the business will crumble. No? So the challenge to us as leaders is to be able to combine strong leadership and strong management responsibilities and use each to balance the others. What you have mentioned earlier, yung nagde-define sa leadership responsibilities and nagde-define sa management responsibilities, these are all correct. No? Your responsibility or what you need or your goal is to be able to balance it out. Right? To define further, para lang magkaroon tayo ng clear definition of what the responsibilities of a leader is, and what are the leadership responsibilities are, and what are the management responsibilities are. Let me just define it, no, for everyone. So, the responsibilities of a leader include the following. So, one is to establish direction. When we say establishing direction, what goes to your mind? Ano ibig sabihin nito? Pag sabihin we are establishing direction, what specific activity can you think or ano ba yung dapat na ginagawa ng leader to establish direction to his teams? Anyone? You can unmute your microphones or you can raise your hand. When you say establishing direction, anong ginagawa ng leader dito? Na-mention nyo to kanina. Yes, go ahead.
Preparing the way.
Preparing the
way.
The way to go. Okay, preparing the way to go. So preparation, what else? When we say establishing direction, ano yung ginagawa natin as leaders to establish direction to our teams?
Planning po and setting the targets.
Planning and setting targets, not yet. Before even planning and setting targets, meron pang nauuna doon. Yes, Doc Chat.
Vision.
Vision, yes, there you go. Developing a vision of the future. Okay? This is what leaders do. Ahead of time, they have their goals. They are setting their goals. And how do we set vision? No? You set vision by setting your goals and making sure that these goals are aligned also to the vision and mission of the company. Ang tanong ko sa inyo ngayon, do you know your company's mission and vision? If you don't, then it's time that you do. And you should. No, because you cannot lead the way to your teams if you don't know what the vision of your company is in the first place. Because everything that you do should be inspired by the company's vision. Otherwise, yes, you may be preparing the way for them, but is it the right way? So we always have to link it to the vision also of the company. That's what we mean by developing a vision of the future. And we don't only do this once. All right? We do it often. Every time that you feel that there's a need for you to develop the vision, remind the vision or develop a new vision, do it. No, baka nagkaroon ng changes in the organization. Then you need to set a new vision for your team. Maybe nagkaroon during the pandemic, right? There's a big change in the organization. No? Dapat nagkaroon tayo ng vision setting for the team, right? Also, it also means as a leader, when you're establishing direction, you're also creating strategies needed to achieve the vision. Okay? Because if we stop at the vision only, then that's all talk. Walang action. Diba? So we also need to form strategies needed to achieve the vision. Maybe you will need to do this with your team. Maybe you will need to do this with your fellow leaders, right? So that's the first responsibility of a leader, to establish direction. Second one, aligning people. What do we mean by aligning people? Anong naisip natin dito? What do leaders do to align people? Ano ba ibig sabihin nito? Anyone?
Discussing the vision to the team.
All right. Who was that? Si Prudelito?
Humphrey.
Humphrey. All right. Okay. Thank you, Humphrey. Yes, that's correct. You communicate the direction, no, by words and by action to those, to your team members. So you communicate. The main skill in aligning people is communication. It's leadership communication. So how do you communicate it to them remember, because as leaders, we should be inspiring people, di ba? Pero pag sinabi mo lang sa kanila na, oh guys, itong gagawin natin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's not exercising your leadership responsibility. That's being a manager kasi sinasabi mo lang sa kanila eh. But if you're explaining it to them, if you are telling them what is going to happen, if you are transparent to them, and if you are giving them a visual of the future of what will happen and how they'll be able to cope with that, then that is aligning your people. How do you say that? By using the right communication skills for that, right? This is where now your influence will come in, right? So you need to influence the creation of teams and even coalitions that understand the vision, the strategies, and to help them accept these strategies. Iba yung forcing them to accept eh. Diba? Balikan lang natin yung image kanina. The leader influences and inspires people to follow them, not push them to follow you, right? So that is for aligning people. What are the activities that we do as leaders to align people? Pwedeng nandiyan ang coaching, nandiyan ang counseling, right? Nandiyan ang mentorship also, right? So these are some of the activities that leaders do to align people in the right direction, right? Next one is motivating teams. I think this is very self-explanatory, right? What is the biggest benefit if you have a motivated team? If your team is motivated, what's the biggest benefit for the organization or for your team? Ano ba ang nagiging result if you have motivated teams? Anyone?
Productive.
Productive. Positive result.
That's
Synergy.
I hear synergy. I hear productivity. I hear achievement of goals. Right? That's correct. And what more is people are energized. Diba? People are energized to overcome, yes, even major challenges. Diba? That's the difference if you have a motivated team versus a team that's not motivated and just doing their job. Diba? Kapag nag-implement ka ng change, that's the biggest challenge. That's the biggest test there eh. Diba? If your team is motivated, even if there's a big change, it will be easier for them to accept the change or adjust to the change, as opposed to a team is just working because they need to work. Diba? Kapag nagkaroon ng changes dyan, nagkakaroon ng hindrance also in acceptance of change. Also, don't you also notice that motivated teams are more proactive? Diba? They are the ones na nagsasabi sa inyo na, boss, alam mo may problema tayo dito sa process na to eh. Ano bang pwede natin gawin dyan? Yeah, that's a sign of a motivated team member. But if that team member sees the problem and doesn't communicate it, that's also a sign of somebody who doesn't really care about the team, about the team's production or team's goals, but only focuses on his own. Do you agree? Right? So motivated teams or energized teams overcome major political, even bureaucratic barriers, right? And it satisfies human needs, which is the need to be involved, the need to feel that they are needed, and the need that they're and to feel that their needs are also satisfied.